Hey Zwifters, welcome to Zwift Racing League Recon. This next race of ZRL will take riders through 7 laps of Champs Elysees. That's going to be a pretty long race and it's a huge opportunity for riders to pick up some good sprint points that will really help them boost them in the standings. This course primarily favors the sprinters, but climbers will get one or two more stages that are more focused towards climbers later on in the series. So a brief overview of the course before we get into the actual recon. So it's going to be 7 laps of Champs Elysees. It's going to be a total of 49.5 kilometers, which is 30.8 miles, and it's going to be 289 meters of elevation gain. That's going to be 948 feet. Each lap of this course will also be 4.1 miles, but there is a pretty long lead-in of 2 miles for that first lap. It's going to go through the Elysees sprint at around 1.5 kilometers into the race, but it's not going to be actually 1.5 kilometers into the race as there is a pretty long lead-in, so it's going to be more like 5 kilometers into that race. So each lap will gain 112 feet of elevation gain, or 34 meters. In terms of power-ups in play for this race, it's going to be 25% burritos, which eliminates the draft for riders around you, including yourself, and 50% aero boost, which makes you 50% more aero, steamroller, which makes the surface feel like a normal road surface. One thing to note about Champs Elysees, or Paris in general, is that it's all cobbles, so that's actually have a higher rolling resistance, which will slow you down. So using that steamroller will make a small difference when you are riding on this course. Let's head into bike choice real quick before we get into the actual recon portion of this video. On this course, since it is pretty much pan flat, the best bike is going to be the most aero frame and wheel set that you own. For riders at a lower level, that may be the Canyon Aero 2021 with the Zip 808 wheel set. For those at the highest level, or level 42 or higher, the best bike and wheel set is going to be the Venge S-Works with the GT Swiss Arc disc wheel set. And another good option is going to be the Chapter 2 Toa or the Tron bike. But overall, the Venge S-Works is going to be the fastest. So as you make your way through the start banner, you're going to want to think about what power-up is going to help you the most, and that'll ultimately depend on what you are going for. So if you're going for that finishing sprint, the aero boost is going to be the best. If you're going for the sprint, aero boost, or featherweight, if you're going for maybe a solo breakaway, the steamroller could be a pretty useful power-up in a breakaway on this course, especially because it is all cobbles, and it will make a difference when you are trying to stay off the front of the rest of the riders. So heading up this short incline, you may see some riders start to try and attack here, but I wouldn't expect anything too much because riders are mostly going to be sitting in and waiting for that sprint. You will see the pace increase slowly as you make your way up this climb, and right here it flattens out slightly before you hit that sprint, and right when you hit that sprint, that's when riders are going to be like smashing the pedals, and really the rider who is going to win this sprint is the rider who goes long, or the rider with just the insanely high watts per kilo. That's probably going to be 15 to 18 watts per kilo in most categories, because they'll just be able to fly right up this climb because of how many watts per kilo they are doing. Over the top, for those who are trying to save their energy for maybe the finishing sprint or a breakaway, I'd highly recommend surging after the sprint if you don't already sprint, because the group will get pretty separated once you hit the top of the climb, because the top sprinters will be splitting the group up quite a bit, and you're going to really want to catch back onto that group after that sprint finish or sprint banner, because if you don't, it's going to be a long chase during this descent, which is not optimal if you are going for that finish. This descent is going to be pretty chill, but you definitely do not want to underestimate how strong riders will be on this descent, because if there is a rider off the front, you are going to want to try to encourage the other riders to work with you, try to reel that rider in, because I've been in many situations where there was a rider off the front and they never got caught because on this descent nobody tries to chase them, and unless your group is extremely big and riders are still doing around 2 to 3 watts per kilo depending on what category you are in, you're not going to bring that rider back because everyone's just going to be playing cat and mouse for the final 1 to 2 miles of this course. At this point in the course, I'd highly recommend sitting in and just drafting the other riders. The biggest thing about Chump's Elysees is to just really suck those wheels and stay in the draft. You don't want to be out in the wind because it's really not going to benefit you at all unless you are really trying to split the group up and you have some kind of team tactics going. That's going to be the key to winning this race, is just save as much energy as you can, put in effort on that short incline before the sprint, and the rest of the race is pretty chill, and riders should be in zone 2 to 3 depending on where you are at in relationship to your category. This part of the course is pretty chill, and once you make this left turn here, you could potentially see some long attacks or long sprints. Category A riders might actually be able to sprint from here on to the end, so definitely watch out for that. But the reason why these attacks are often unsuccessful is because riders are all anticipating that someone is going to attack in this tunnel as you go up this short incline. It is a great place to try and attack, but everyone is going to be anticipating it, so you're likely going to be caught. But what you don't want to do is to be too far back when this tunnel hits, because you don't want to get caught out the back of the group, because if you do, it's going to be a pretty hard chase to catch back onto the riders, especially because they will be going at such a high speed, especially this close to the finish of the race. So you're going to really want to stay towards the front of the group from here to the end of the race, because that's really going to benefit you the most in that finishing sprint. The best power up, I'd say, in the finishing sprint is going to be an aero boost, and coming from the middle of the group as usual is going to be optimal. I wouldn't say trying to slingshot will probably not help you a lot. I've tried that, and oftentimes you'll be able to pass quite a few riders, but it's not going to be enough to really bring you to that podium position. The finish is actually a slight descent, but I would not worry about that too much, as it is not going to really affect the finishing results of the race. But good luck to you all who are racing, and hope to see you all in the next Recon. Next week we are going to be racing another fun course that's going to be Legends and Lava. So see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and ride on.